Well, actually,
Best Batman and best Bruce Wayne.
I would have to put Bale above him.
To me, he played a better Bruce Wayne.
I really didn't like Affleck.
That's Bruce Wayne. He did it before anybody else did it.
We on the Batman series.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Matt, aka Spartacus, bringing you another episode of the Nerd or Nothing podcast, where we talk about anime, video games, movies, and anything else that falls into the nerd zone. If you like our videos and if you want to hear more, please do not hesitate. Like and subscribe, and don't forget, hit that notification button. Enjoy the show.
In today's topic, we're going to be discussing the portrayals of Batman and Bruce Wayne ranked from best to worst. We're going to be talking about Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and Robert Pattinson.
So, in my opinion, the best version of Bruce Wayne would probably have to go to George Clooney.
That's what I got too. I got George Clooney number one.
Someone made this explanation to me a couple years ago, and I was like, bro, that fits perfectly. George Clooney is a rich, Bruce Wayne is a rich,
Yeah, he is.
just assholes, as their individual characters. When they put on Batman's outfit, they don that cowl, it's a whole different story. And honestly, the best Batman is a toss-up for me between Christian Bale and Robert Pattinson.
I think Keaton, to me, played a better Bruce Wayne. The assholishness that he has, and he's got that I know that Clooney's got that suave, debonair type thing going on, but he's got that rich guy asshole attitude to me.
Absolutely. Best
And
Bruce
so-
Wayne is Michael Keaton.
I think transitioned well into the Batman as well. So there's that little hint of Batman into Keaton that wasn't in Clooney.
How do I do
Clooney was just that debonair thing. But
But that's the
I
thing.
really think
When we look at Bruce Wayne as a whole, he completely changed the structure of who he is from Batman to Bruce Wayne. When you see him in Bruce Wayne, and the perfect depiction of him outside of just movies would be from the original animated series in the 90s. Because at that time, you looked at him, he looked sort of like a fat body in a suit, hair was messed up, he had a very bad slouch, and Bruce Wayne, or Batman, is known as the master of disguise. So he was able to change that structure of his body, that you actually saw his physique whenever he was wearing the Batman suit. When you look at George Clooney was very much that, sure, debonair, but he had that charisma that Batman doesn't have.
He had that swag, baby.
That's why I picked Bale. That's why I picked Bale. Remember that scene in Batman Begins where my dude had the two chicks and he jumped in the tub? And he was just sitting there, and they're like, sorry, sir, you cannot. It is not a swimming pool. And he's just like, well, tell him that I'm buying this hotel.
Hotel.
Like, he had that confidence. My dude just said, I got this money. This is my hotel. But that is that rich dude, and he's pompous. I thought Bale did that. But also, we have to recognize Christian Bale is such an amazing actor. In all the movies we don't even need to go into his list. He went from jacked up, swole, big muscles to
he starved himself, literally.
Christian Bale starved himself for the role after he played Bruce Wayne. He starved himself. What was that boxing movie that he did? It was a good movie too.
The Guardian. I forget the name of it.
The Fighter.
The Fighter, where he played Dickie.
He was an old boxer, but then he became a heroin addict, and he was just look at me down in the fourth round, and he's
the Fighter.
Because when he played Batman, when you saw him in the caves, getting his back broken and shit, he was ripped. Dude had a good physique, but then you see him go over to that, and that was, I want to say that was right between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
It was in 2010. The Fighter. He played Dickie Eklund out of Lowell, Massachusetts.
So I mean, we got to think who when we're talking about Bruce Wayne, as far as the investment of the character and what it takes to play the person. You know, you guys pick Clooney. Clooney is he's naturally just gifted as an actor, and he just, but I would have to put Bale above him as far as for playing Bruce because of, just the role that he played for the actual movie of Batman Begins. I don't know. That's my pick. I'll put Clooney third because
Do your whole list.
my
Do your
second
whole list.
is Keaton. I'm in agreement with what Andy and Vernon are saying. I put Michael Keaton up there because he did play that pompous guy. He was short with his words. He said what he had to say. He had power. You could feel it from his presence. He was rich dude. And that's my
Look at it from this perspective. Let's look at it from this perspective. All right, we're picking the best Bruce Waynes. Who's still acting now? Actively, like lead roles.
Affleck,
Keaton.
Bale.
Affleck, Keaton, Bale. Yeah, Bale just released a
doing
movie on Netflix now.
Christian Bale literally just dropped a movie.
Val Kilmer died in a Top Gun.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
In Top Gun,
Yep.
he died.
Ben Affleck
a
is currently
small
filming
role.
something.
Okay, definitely big love to going out to Val Kilmer because he
Yeah.
was one of my favorite. Listen, for all of us who followed Batman movies, come on now, Val Kilmer did his shit.
So
Yeah,
my issue with that movie, the third installation of Batman with Val Kilmer, was the changing of the director. So we started off with
Horrible script.
it was a horrible lot. It was a horrible lot because I didn't feel like he played a good Bruce Wayne. I felt like he was just it was too forced with a lot of his lines, and then as Batman, it just didn't feel right seeing him in the suit. But it was also the issue of going from the director that we had in both Michael Keaton films to the current the director we had in Val Kilmer's films. The second director came in and said, "Huh, it's really dark in here." You knew it was going downhill from there.
You know what? You
Yeah.
know what makes me happy? You know what brings joy to my life is the fact that Batman is your character.
Mm.
And they did wrong by him so many times. Spider-Man's my character. There's no bad Spider-Man movies.
that we know of.
No, but there's the bad TV.
Hold on. Spider-Man 3. Hold on. Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
3.
3.
That's way better.
Man, come on, dude.
What?
Ain't nobody doing that, man. He get on the chair like,
Right. What the heck?
yeah, man. Nah.
So all right. So look, if I can go, I got a list of best Batman and best Bruce Wayne. Now, numbers 3, 4, and 5 are the same for Batman and Bruce Wayne for me. I got Michael Keaton 3 across the board. I got Ben Affleck 4 across the board, and Val Kilmer 5. Now, my best Batman, I got is Christian Bale.
Yeah,
If you don't mind
My
me
best-
going,
My best Bruce Wayne is George Clooney.
yeah, I'm gonna go, but you guys may not agree with a lot of this, and that's fine. I got Bruce Wayne I got Keaton, then Affleck, then Clooney, then Bale,
Affleck.
then Patterson and Kilmer. Patterson and Kilmer are neck and neck. I did not like
You
Patterson.
got Affleck above Bale?
hold on. You
Ben
said
Affleck was a good-
Affleck. You said Batman.
As Bruce. But this is Bruce. This is just Bruce. Now, for Batman, I've got Keaton, Bale, Clooney, Patterson, and then an Affleck Kilmer, tie up at the end.
I was like, you have to give
What-
respect to Keaton because he did it before anybody else did it in the movies. Respect.
But also, you got to understand though, from when we were watching that movie as well. Yo, look at who Joker was.
Was it?
I mean, Jack Nicholson was just such a phenomenal. Like that.
Oh,
cast,
yeah.
come on, I mean, I'm not trying to take away from Michael Keaton's thunder. You're right. Hey, you know what? Nah, I think Michelle Pfeiffer was the best Catwoman. Come on, yo, Halle Berry.
That was the second movie.
What was the second movie?
Can we say, and this is a caveat to the original question and to what Matt was saying, we've never had a bad Joker. In my opinion, we've never really had a bad Joker.
Never
Well,
had a bad
well,
Joker, even in the series.
I did not
Never had a
care.
bad
I did
Joker.
not care much for Jared Leto. Jared Leto, man, he be ruining all kinds of films.
So-
I don't throw him on blast.
I'll say Jared
did
Leto-
what he was supposed to do in that last film that he was in.
Yep.
He did what he was supposed to do. because this was after all the calamity. This is like post-apocalyptic bullshit, and he was like, "Yo, Batman, ha ha ha."
Wrote the script. They made him a gangster, yo. Like they got him the gold teeth. Like you know what I mean? Like he was a mobster. Like, or is that really Joker?
There is a version of Joker like that. If anything,
Okay, we got to well. Actually,
I think the biggest issue with Jared Leto is he really immerses himself into his roles.
Well, actually,
And sometimes it's hard to do that in the comic book world because he really put a lot into Morbius and to Joker, but it just didn't translate well.
Well, actually, Jared Leto, in my opinion, played a great Joker for the simple fact of what time period this took place in. So if you look at Batman versus Superman, this took place after Batman had lost Jason Todd to the Joker. This took place in a time period, and what they did is they collabed the type of Joker that Jared Leto was supposed to be. They took the Joker that he was supposed to be in the original comics, but they also took a Joker from a specific comic that was written about the Joker where he was released from jail, and he was basically the kingpin of Gotham.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes
the worst thing about Jared Leto's Joker was, one, he didn't get a chance, and two, the laugh could have been worked on. But his actual performance as the Joker was very cynical, was very much like, I don't care about anything. Like I have no problem. Like he played to the fact that Joker was always sacrificing Harley Quinn throughout the entire comic book series and never once cared about her. Like he played that portion of it perfectly. So I think he did really good as Joker. Am I going to say he's the best Joker? No, he's definitely the worst Joker. But compared to what we had with Heath Ledger and what we had with Jack Nicholson.
No, you got one more.
If we're talking about Adam West's Joker.
No, I'm not talking about Adam West's Joker.
Mark Hamill.
You want to say Mark
Hamill? One of the brothers that
Google
Phoenix.
it, man. You're on your computer.
River Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh,
Joaquin.
yes.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, I agree with that.
that was my big three. That was
It was a drama for the older folk to enjoy.
I really liked how Joaquin Phoenix's version of the Joker really played to the DC New 52 version of the Joker, where they actually gave him a backstory. You know, like, because typically if you look through the comics and the movies, the animated movies and the series, Joker has a bunch of different versions of his backstory that he can't even remember it himself anymore. Wow. But in the New 52, it actually went back to a Joker who was trying to be a comedian, and he was the originator of the Red Hood. He wore that glass dome hood and wore a cape, and he tried to be a magician and a comedian at the same time. It played not only to that, but to the mental health that is included in any form of Joker that's there. He absolutely is the first one to don the Red Hood. And the Red Hood was just something that when he was a part of this gang, the hood was passed around to whoever was supposed to be the leader at the time, and he ended up becoming that leader. And that actually goes into the fight between the guy that was originally Joker and Batman over that vat in Acme Chemicals where he was knocked into it and completely went insane.
Hold on. I still want to hear about who was the worst Batman. Justin, who was the worst Batman on your list?
Worst Batman on my list?
Affleck.
I have to give it to Affleck.
What?
Affleck.
Are you fucking
Big Batman fan again?
Who's the worst Bruce Wayne on your list?
On my list? I really didn't like Affleck.
Wow.
He had a double hitter.
Wow.
I agree. I'm actually in the same boat with Justin. I think, to be real though, and I'm sure all of us can agree with this, previous Snyder Cut, previous Snyder Cut of the Justice League, watching that and having Affleck, I was like, just tugboat, it just was so trash all around.
My issues with Ben Affleck as Batman was that it detracted way too much from all of the media that we actually knew about Batman.
Bingo.
Batman's number one rule, do not kill.
Do not care.
That's
when
what
we
killed
see when we see those scenes, which we thought were just dreams, just nightmares, but actually really happened once you see the Snyder cut of him holding a gun and shooting people. Whoa, what? That's not Batman at all. Batman doesn't carry guns, like he doesn't kill
Right.
people.
Right.
That's always been a rule since the
That's more
Bronze Age,
sad.
since the Bronze Age
Right.
of comics.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's more
Right.
Flashpoint for
Right. And I
Batman.
thought that was solidified within Batman Begins because when Ra's al Ghul had wanted him to execute one of somebody for stealing or whatever, and he couldn't do it, and he went up against the League of Shadows right there in that moment, and that was, I think, to solidify that he would never kill anybody like that. And so, I mean, to your point, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, with that being on Batman's #1 rules, like look at like the whole Injustice series, like how that happened because Batman refused to kill anybody.
When the Red Hood actually came around and he was toting guns when he was still out for vengeance against the Joker, when Batman finally got him to come back over to the Bat family, he got him to start using rubber bullets. You can't work with me if you're going to kill people. If you do, I'm just going to put you away myself.
Yeah.
But that's what ended up mind the pun, killing it for me on Affleck. Just that.
I said Affleck was the lowest on my list.
Yep.
Him and Kilmer. I mean, Kilmer just barely squeaked by him, but only by a hair.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I like Val Kilmer only because of nostalgic purposes. Maybe it's the age. I have no clue.
And I'm right there
Jim
with
Carrey
you,
as
Brian.
as the Riddler. He made it funny, at least, Jim Carrey. So
At what point can you judge and say, all right, I just like them as an actor, or they just have to follow the comic book scripting? Like, where do you differentiate the talent from, oh, they didn't follow the script enough? Sorry, that's another topic. I'm sorry.
Valid though, but it's
Hold on.
valid though because my thing is like before Nas made his point about what's his name Clooney being the best Bruce Wayne, I have to really think about it for a second. It's like, wait, hold on. He did Oceans 11, 12, and 13. And I'm like, wait a second. If you think about it, that's Bruce Wayne.
Any of Clooney's movies in general, it's just like, yeah, you play this rich character 9 times out of 10. This very cocky, like stuck up kind of guy 9 times out of 10.
He's playing himself.
that's very
Explain himself.
relevant.
Yeah.
I never even looked at that.
100%.
Yep.
Like it took me a while because guess what? Clooney as a Batman, he wasn't my favorite. He was not my favorite. He was at the bottom of my
for me.
list. But because of this argument of like, okay, look, he's an asshole. He's a millionaire. He has all the money. And I'm like, wait, the Ocean's movies clearly this guy was like, yeah, I could rob a bank if I want to, and I could do a great job.
I got Clooney as the worst Batman on my list, but the best Bruce Wayne.
I could rock with that.
My list was, and I know I'm going to get some hate from Vern and Andy on this, but best to least, Bale, Pattinson, very close on those two. Keaton, Kilmer,
I agree.
Clooney, Affleck. The reason that I put Pattinson up there, and I know you guys don't agree with it, but it's the fact that this is 0-year Batman that we're
Yep.
talking about. This is
I'm with
Batman that just came back from all of the training he did. That moment when he came up to the ledge of the building and he just like hesitated for a moment in fear before he actually jumped. The moments where he's actually getting hit throughout the entire fights that he's going through. That's what made it so real. That it felt like, okay, this is the 0-year Batman that I was expecting and that I was talking about for like a whole year before the movie came out.
But wasn't Bale the 0 year? Bale was supposed to be 0 year.
Right, but
No.
Bale was supposed to be 0-year when we talk about like the League of Assassins. But when we actually see him as Batman, it jumped years ahead in terms of what actually was
Right.
going on.
Right, and
Yeah,
that's I was
Bale
about to
and
hit that
Pattinson.
well actually because Batman Begins runs through a very quick timeline when he meets Ra's al Ghul, right? After the whole court case, right, in that movie, right? We'll just go through that quick sequence where he couldn't kill the dude because he got killed by Balcone's guy, right? He got shot in the chest. He got upset and then he turned into, you know what I mean? He went and he became a thief and then his whole tour came out, right? When he arrived back into Gotham, that began the 0 year. But they didn't depict really what was going on during the 0 year like the Batman did.
Now, the depiction of Robert Pattinson very much follows, again, the New 52. I referred to it so much because it was probably one of the best times in comics after the Flashpoint paradox. And in the New 52, the first couple comics outside of the Court of Owls, which, you know, if they do that in the next Robert Pattinson Batman movie, I'm going to be like, but what he did with 0 year, it followed the story very much closely, like where it was an enclosed Gotham, you know, we're still dealing with the mobsters of the time, and the first villain that he had to deal with was the Riddler, and the Riddler pretty much shut down the city in the comics, had control of everything. So the psychological aspect, and I feel like when you look at that version of Batman and put the version of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker together, I think they fit perfectly together. And if they decide to go that route with the coming series with James Gunn, then I'd be really interested in how that works out.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Nerd or Nothing podcast. Let us know what you think about today's topics in the comments below. If you got friends who love nerd debates, what are you waiting for? Hit that share button and make sure that they give us a follow too. Tune in next time and make sure to keep it nerd or nothing.